Okay, so it's time for a garden update, and boy have things done well. Those tomatoes I'm looking at there now, are the top of my head, come up the top of my head, they're about 6 feet off the ground now. You can see we're getting some tomatoes starting to come in. This is June, what is today, June the 10th or so? So we've already harvested all our broccoli and cauliflower. The cauliflower got bugs in it, the broccoli we ate a bunch of, and Nikki's gone ahead and replanted some stuff there behind the basil. Some different kinds of squash, watermelon. I'm not sure what I'll do. She put some daisies in there just for the heck of it. The peppers, as you can see, are really coming in strong. So we've been getting big old bell peppers out of there. So wow, the peppers are now standing, some of them 2.5 feet tall. So doing real well with peppers and eating a bunch of them already here in early June. Here are the asparagus beds and a little maple tree still in there being nursed back to health. But the asparagus is doing, we hope, really well. It's next year when we'll see, really how that turns out. Here is our, I guess that's some cantaloupes, and she's already started slinging up some little cantaloupes. We got some about the size of a baseball, kind of on the back side over there, being slung up by t-shirt material. These are sort of supposed to be hot banana peppers. I don't think they're hot at all. Nikki thinks they are. I've already clipped a bunch of the bigger ones out, so they're growing really well. We've probably had a dozen or more banana peppers out of there. That is a cucumber, and you can see a cucumber in there growing right now. I guess you can see one back in there. And they're doing real well. We've probably eaten 8 or 10 cucumbers. They're pickling type cucumbers. The strawberries, we had an early run of strawberries, and now the second round's coming out on them. And so she's been trimming those up over there, some trimming. So she's trimming some extra leaves and runners and stuff off of them so they'll grow better. So my wife has done a really great job working the garden. So that's the raised bed thing. And over here is how our squash turned out. And squash are doing fantastic. We've been eating a bunch of squash already. So you can see them down in there. There's a zucchini down here underneath there. We've been eating zucchini and squash at almost every meal and finding different ways to cook it, and it's doing really well. Over there, there's a couple of broccolis that didn't do well, so I put them down over here. I'm gonna have to probably dig them up. I'm gonna cut those little florets off the top. They didn't do the best in the world. I'm just moved them over here to try, see how they grow. There's a watermelon growing there and some okra. We're starting to get the okra coming down that side. This morning, I dug that mess up over there, so all that rough stuff along the edges got to be cleaned up. That was the sod that was in there. This is sweet potatoes. She wanted to try growing some sweet potatoes. So I cut out a little area about 3 feet by 9 feet. And we made some little sweet potato mounds, and we're going to see how that turns out. So here we are, we're in Valdez, North Carolina, and I do not know how they're going to grow up here on this mountain, semi-mountain that we live on. All my tools are still out over there. I got to roll those into the garage. The blueberries have done fantastic. This is a variety, I think, called Spartan. And so I've picked all the blue ones off last night and ate them. We took a bunch inside the house. We're getting, a good little handful every day. This one here is a rabbit eye, and it's taking its time. It's going to be probably next month before they start to ripen up. This is one that was called a New Jersey. And we're starting to run out of berries on this, but I've been eating berries off of it for probably a month now. So it has done really well. New Jersey brand it's called. Here again, another rabbit eye, and this one I thought was rabbit eye, but it clearly was not, because it's been bearing a lot of berries. They're just now starting to come in, but I've been eating off that one for probably 2 weeks. It's some other variety that ripens up kind of early. So that's kind of a round of how our raised bed and experimental garden is doing in Valdez, North Carolina, up on Mineral Springs Mountain. And I have to say, doing better than I was expecting it to do. Very nice indeed. And of course the flowers seem to love it up here. Nikki tends to all the flowers. I do nothing with flowers. So I guess I'm going to turn it around and go back into the house. And that's our little update for this week in early June 2012.